All right. Hold on to your horses because this episode is going to be something that we've been wanting to do forever. You already see the spoiler on your right hand side. We are going to be making an applied energistics system. Finally, all these chests that I spent some time organizing a little bit, I didn't even finish organizing, are going to be slotted in to one big system. And I'm going to be showing you guys how to do that, how to handle channels and all that nonsense that might lead you to otherwise be converted to refined storage. Nothing against refined storage, but I just really like applied energistics. So yeah, we're gonna get right into it. The first thing that we're going to do, which is much needed, is we are going to take the Certus quartz dust that we currently have, and we're going to smelt that into silicone. Silicone is one of the most needed resources in all of applied energistics. Now, one of the nice things about this, wait, is there no silicone bee? Oh, there is. Okay, silicone bee. So you can get a silicone bee. You need a nomad bee and a reed bee. I don't know how to get these, but I'll figure it out. And so that is going to be one of the bees we will eventually be getting. Looks like they flower nether quartz, which is interesting. So that's going to be cool. We'll be able to get these, and then we can use those to get silicone, which is going to be awesome. So silicone is really useful in applied energistics because if you want to make any of these three processors, you are going to need silicone in order to do that. So, what we're going to do, first things first, is we're going to make acceleration cards because we want this inscriber to be very fast. We're just going to do one inscriber to start out. We'll be making an automatic system, probably off camera, but today I'm just going to be going through the basics. This is basically just going to make things faster. This is not required for you to start up the system, but I have the resources to be able to make these, so I'm going to do that. So first you need a calculation processor. So those are made with the printed calculation circuits and the printed silicone. Silicone is made, or the printed silicone is made with these silicone presses. Now, how did I get these? If you haven't watched through all the series, let me show you. So I have all of these presses in one of these chests. Aha, right here. Let me grab those out. Actually, forgot I needed those. So basically, what these do and how you get these is, do you remember those meteorites that I found the other day? The other day, like it was yesterday. So these, not only do they have the Certus quartz crystals in them that grow Certus quartz, they also have a mysterious cube in them. I'm actually pretty sure I still have one in the second. Yeah, so this mysterious cube, if you break that, you actually get all of the inscriber presses. So that is very helpful, and it's going to be 100% necessary in order to start out on this. So, to start things off, I'm just going to make 2 calculation presses real quick. So this just needs power and the resources, and I'll go ahead and make those for you. So I need 2 of those, and then I need 2 of these. So now from here, all you have to do is put calculation circuits on the top, silicone on the bottom, and then redstone in the middle, and those are going to make your calculation circuits. It's the same process for each different one of these circuits, just using the different materials. So the logic circuit will use gold in the logic press. The engineering circuit will use the diamond and engineering press. So pretty straightforward. That's kind of why you want multiple of these set up most of the time. So yeah, so that's why we're going to be doing that pretty quick. Let's open up my trash can. You can just press T by default to open that up. All right, so now we got these calculation processors. From here, it's pretty easy to make the advanced cards, which I want 4. The reason why I want 4 is this has a maximum of 4 in the slot. And then from there, we need this cool item called Fluix crystals. Now, this is probably one of the like more confusing things in the early game. Basically, what you have to do is you have to take a charged Certus Quartz crystal, redstone, and nether quartz. Now, how do you get a charged Certus Quartz crystal? We have these Certus Quartz crystals. All you have to do is you just put it in this thing called a charger. Now, the charger is very easy to make. It's just some iron and some copper, so we can actually just make that real quick. Let's go ahead and make that. Boom. I've got a charger. All right, so now here, I'll just place that right here. The power setup is going to be a little bit better in the future. I'm just kind of showing you guys how to do it in the early game here. So let's go ahead and put this in. And pretty quickly here, it should charge up. I don't think this takes very long. Yeah, there we go. Not long at all. Let's go ahead and throw away some mossy cobblestone and clear up some inventory space. So let me show you the process. It works best if you have like a little isolated pool of water, so we'll go ahead and use the farm for now. And there is a way to, unfortunately I have a magnet. Let me turn that off real quick. Okay, so we got magnet, take that off, boom. Okay, so you throw charged Certus Quartz, redstone, and gosh, too close. Redstone. Quartz. Boom. Turn straight into that Certus Quartz. That is fantastic. So now it turns into Fluix crystals. Now, use these Fluix crystals along with the advanced cards to make the acceleration cards. Awesome. Let me clear out my inventory and I'll be back. All right, we got 6 more of those charged Certus Quartz. Let's go ahead and throw these in real quick if I can be fast enough. Boom. Boom. Quick. Yeah, there we go. We got 14. How's that even possible? I actually don't know how that happened. I guess there's just a chance that there's extra. Anyway, so we got 14 of these now. That should be plenty. Oh, it's because we already had some. That's right. Okay, so now let's go to the acceleration cards. Boom. Now we can make 4 of these. We can put all 4 of those in there. And now this is going to take a little bit more power, but it's going to be so much faster. So let's test this out with the silicone real quick. I won't even like cut off the camera here. So look at that. That is so dang quick. And that's going to be perfect for a nice early game setup. But by next episode, we will have auto crafting because I love auto crafting so much. It's one of my favorite things to do in this mod. Because it just makes everything else so much easier. Now, I know for a fact that we are going to need a lot of these logic circuits. So I'm actually going to go ahead, I'm going to throw a bunch of gold in there, and we're going to go ahead and get some of that stuff prepared, and I will show you guys the materials you will need to complete your first applied energistics system. All right, so I have gone ahead and bookmarked all of the recipes that I like to have in my first ME system. So, all you really need to start putting items into an ME system, which is why I considered doing this early game, is some storage, an energy cell. You don't technically need this, but it's highly, highly recommended. A crafting terminal, an ME controller, and an ME drive. Now, that sounds like a lot, and there's going to be a lot of steps to this, but bear with me here. So, this is just going to need a calculation press, a crafting table, and an ME terminal. That takes some of these annihilation and formation cores. These pretty much have the same recipe with a couple differences. So you got nether quartz for one of them, and then a formation core, which takes, I believe it's the Fluix dust that's different. Let me just double check that real quick. I don't want to be wrong. Okay, so one of them takes nether quartz and one of them takes Certus quartz. That's the difference between those two. And as you can see, both of these take the calculation press or the logic processors as well, which is why I said that we need a lot of those. Next thing you're going to need is the illuminated panel, which is just glowstone, quartz glass, redstone, and iron. And it makes 3 of them, which is really, really nice because that's going to allow you to make a crafting terminal as your first one. And then once you get later on, you can get one of those pattern terminals and a pattern access terminal. I believe they're both called. So one of them is going to allow you to make patterns to make auto crafting later, and one of them is going to allow you to place the patterns in any of your pattern terminals in this big GUI. But I won't explain that now because it's going to be a lot easier to explain once we actually get into auto crafting. Now, quartz glass. To make that, all you need is some Certus quartz dust and some glass. Awesome. So there's a lot of glass required in this mod as well. So that's that. The ME controller, all it takes is the Skystone blocks, one of the diamond processors, the engineer one, and 4 flux crystals. Pretty easy. The Skystone is the blocks that you get from the meteors. So that's exactly, so if you got the processors, unless you got the processors through mystical agriculture, then you should have Skystone. And Skystone is smelted, Skystone blocks is smelted Skystone, which I actually forgot to do, so I need to do that real quick as well. Okay. This is basically going to be the brain of your storage system. It allows you to have a lot more channels, which we will be getting into later. But it's nice to have for your first system because it's going to make things a lot easier to upgrade later on. All right, ME drive, this one's pretty simple. All it takes is these flux glass cables, which you'll be making anyways. All it takes is flux crystals and a quartz fiber, and that just takes some Certus quartz dust and some glass. Cool, glass again. All right, this is where you're going to be storing all of your storage drives. All right, so the storage component. This is where things start to get a little bit tedious in applied energistics and why we like to get, or why I like to get auto crafting set up right away. So to get the 4K ME storage components, you need all this stuff, plus these 1K ME storage components, which is the smallest storage component you can possibly make. This just takes some Certus quartz, some redstone, and a logic processor. Again, you're going to want a lot of these, especially once you're going to be getting into bigger storage units. That's going to be your best bet. Okay, so this is the base thing that you need for a starter ME system. It sounds like a lot, but once you get into this mod, I assure you, it is not that difficult of a task. So let's get right into it. So, what do you do when you're overwhelmed with all of the things that you have to craft? I know it's just 5 things, but it is not out of the question for you to be overwhelmed with all of the things that we have to craft, and that's completely understandable. My method is to kind of just pick something and start crafting it. So, first off, I know for a fact that we're going to need a lot of logic processors, as I mentioned earlier. So I'm going to get started on doing some of that. It's good to kind of do a couple things at a time that have different machines in order to get started on that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the thing that's the most tedious for me, which is making the crafting terminal. So let's get started on the ME terminal. I don't want to deal with the illuminate panel right now. I already have one of these logic processors, so I'm going to go ahead and make the formation and annihilation cores. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. So here we go. I'm going to go into this, make one of these, and it looks like I'm actually missing flux dust. That's actually very simple. All you have to do is place some flux crystals in the inscriber. Now, since I'm already on this page, let's actually look at how many of these we're going to need in the end. So we need 1 for the annihilation core, 1 for the formation core, none for this. I'm just going to kind of look at everything. We need 4 for this, so that's 6. Don't need any for this. Just need the crystals for that. Don't need any for that. Okay, so our final number of flux crystals, flux dust is 6. So I know that I can just put 6 flux crystals in here. Cool. So now we're going to have all of the flux dust we need in order to complete all our crafting recipes. Now, since we're over here, and we're just going to be crafting some stuff, we may as well start making some more presses as we're doing our crafting. So I'm going to do this because I know we're going to need a lot of printed silicone. Cool. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's open my handcrafter. We're going to make one of these. And we're going to make one of these. Boom. There we go. Now, all we have to do is we have to get the illuminated panel. Okay, quartz glass. We need some Certus quartz dust. Did we get any of that set up? It looks like we actually turned all of it into silicone. That's fine. I'm going to go ahead and put these into here to get some more of that. Get started on that. I don't need one deep slate essence. Let's go ahead and put something away real quick. We don't need the building gadget right now. Cool. So we got some Certus quartz dust. I'm going to wait till it gets to a 10 because that is a nice and even number. There's 5 Certus quartz dust in each crafting recipe. Go ahead and make some of this. I know we're going to need a lot of this, so I'll go ahead and make as much as I can, which is 8. Cool. All right, let's get into the illuminated panel. Have to wait for it to cycle through. And boom, we can make some of those. Now from here, we can actually just go ahead and make the ME terminal. Boom. And then we need a calculation processor. Okay. Inventory. Highly recommended is to clear out your inventory before you get into big crafting recipes like this. I don't know who's directing this video, but they're being a little silly at the moment. Alright, so this is done crafting. That's awesome. Let's go ahead and put some more stuff away. Boom, boom, boom. Don't need this pickaxe right now. Let's take the Certus quartz dust. Next thing we're going to need is actually going to be the calculation processor. So let's use the same method that we used for the Fluix dust with our calculation processor. So let's look through all the crafting recipes and see how many we're going to need. So this, we don't need any. This, we need 1, so that's 2. Don't need any for that. Don't need any for that. Okay, so we're going to need 2 of these. Let's go ahead and put 2. Ooh, be careful with that, because we need to actually put the calculation press in first, and then put the Certus quartz in. That's actually going to give us the circuit. All right, so do 2 of those and 2 of those, plus 2 of those to get the calculation processor. Guys, I know it's painful to watch my inventory right now, but you're just going to have to bear with me for a little bit longer because at the end of this, it's all going to be worth it. All right, here we go. So now all we need is a crafting table. Do we have wood? Yes, we do. For a log, boom. This is why I keep everything in my inventory. Oh, yeah. Okay. Now we can make the crafting terminal. Boom. Step 1, complete. We can take that off the list. Okay. What do I want to do next? Well, let's actually go ahead. I think we can actually just make this straight up. Boom, energy cell. Another one off the list. Okay. You know what I can do right now while I'm waiting is I can start setting this stuff up. So let's go ahead. I think we can attach... I'm not sure about this. You know what? Okay, so we'll go ahead and put the energy cell right here. Boom. And we'll put... Okay, we actually should make some cables real quick. So let's go ahead and do that if we can. So we're going to need these for this anyways. Need to open up our thing. We're going to need a lot of cables anyways, so this is a good thing to get into. Boom, 3 of these, and then you combine. So we're actually going to need more Fluix crystals. That's totally fine. Let's go ahead and make some of these. Bam. Make as many as we can, actually. Boom, boom. Okay, so we got 8 of the... Oh, I crashed my game? No, okay, surprisingly not. Okay, so let's place that there. Let's go ahead and place the crafting terminal. And it's going to say device offline, and that is because we do not have any storage set up yet. But now let's go ahead and let's put the flux point right here. We'll go ahead and configure this real quick. Boom. I believe this is the one that transfers power. Yeah, it provides energy to adjacent blocks. Oh! I actually forgot something in the setup. We need an energy acceptor. This is actually very simple to make, so that is not too difficult. But yes, just remember that you do need an energy acceptor. I almost just tried to open that too. So energy acceptor, very simple. Just needs some copper, some iron, some quartz glass. Boom, we're already gonna make a lot of that. So there we go. So now all we gotta do, let's take that out real quick. Let's put this here. And then we can put the flux point there. Let's put it right here. Boom. Do windmill, and then this should be accepting some power. Boom. Yeah, there we go. Starting to get some AE power in there. Cool. This actually says device online, so we actually just needed power. I always like to make this the tallest terminal possible so I can see all the items. So cool. We got this up and running, but we can't put anything in there yet because we haven't added any storage. Cool. So next thing up, let's add some storage. Okay, so we need 2 of these flux glass cables. We already have those. We need 4 iron. We have that. Next thing up is engineering processors. So those are the ones that take the diamond. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll put the engineering press in there. Let's use the same method to do this. We're going to need one for the controller. Are we going to need one for this? No, we are not. Okay. So we just need 2. Boom. And boom. Getting some lag, apparently. Okay. So now we go do that. We go do this. And then we put the redstone in, and we get 2 of these. Awesome sauce. Finishing that up. Boom. Okay. So, we take... No, not that. ME drive. Boom. We can make it. Bam. Okay, so let's take this out right here. Put the ME drive in there. And we still can't put anything in there because we're done with that. Now we just need a storage component. Cool. So, this is going to take these. We can actually make those. So, okay, so 4K ME storage components. We need the 1K ME storage components to make those. Let's see if we can make 3 of these. We can make 4. Awesome. Okay, so we made 3. Now let's see if we can make this. Looks like we need more quartz glass. Okay, can we make more quartz glass? Good. We made some extra quartz dust, so we were actually able to do that. Cool. So now let's see if we can make this. We can. Okay, now we can put that in here, right? No. That's because we actually need to make this storage component into a storage cell. Okay, so this is a 4K ME storage cell. It takes 3 redstone, 3 iron, and 2 quartz glass. You can also make these cells separately, like so. So we have the ME cell item housing. It just takes the same materials. You can have a bunch of these in your system, and then you can craft those a little bit easier if you want to do that in 2 steps instead. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can make that, and we can. Boom. Okay, so now all that's left to do is we slot this in, and now, guess what? We can put items in there. It's beautiful. Cool. So, but now, here's how applied energistics works. So, you have these items, they take up bytes. It's like a computer system. It can store up to 4,096 bytes, or up to 63 types of items. Now, if it runs out of types, then what will happen is you'll only be able to store any more of the items that are already in there in the storage system. So let's say this is filled up with only like materials like gold, iron, and diamonds. If it still has byte storage left, you'll only be able to put gold, iron, and diamonds or whatever else you have in there more until all the bytes are filled up. Cool? Okay, so that's one of the downsides to applied energistics, but it looks really cool. So, but what this mod pack actually has, if you're playing on all the mods 9 along with me, we have this cool thing called, let's see if I can remember, discs. Okay. So this is a, I use this on my mod pack. So this 256K disc, it stores the same amount of bytes as a normal 256K storage cell, but this doesn't have types. Now, the only reason why we're not making these right now is these actually require netherite ingots. So we can't quite make those yet. But eventually, when we get to super late game, we'll be able to do this. Now, before I end off this video, how would I go about upgrading this? Cool. So we have our starter system. It has 4K ME storage cells. What would I store in here? Well, pretty much what I would store would be the base materials that we need. So I would put all my resources in there, and then I would start to get auto crafting set up. We're going to be getting into that in the future episode. I won't promise next episode, but maybe in a future episode. So auto crafting is going to allow you to make the storage cells a lot faster, and then you're going to be able to get into making storage a lot quicker. So if you put just the base materials in there, you should be able to auto craft everything after you get everything connected and set up. Cool. So then what storage cells would I actually put in here? Well, one thing you can do is you can look, if you've ever made an AE storage system before, you can look at your storage drives and see how many bytes you're using up before you run out of types. In my multiplayer world, I used pretty much 16K storage cells in the mid game to store all my items, and that was able to store my entire thing that had an automatic system for producing resources. And they ended up filling about 8,000. So that was pretty efficient for me. The nice thing is, or one thing is, you have to think about how many slots these fill up as well. And they're not super expensive to make, but each one that you add onto the system takes a little bit more power. So I like using 16K storage cells because it gives some like room for adding more items in there as well. So if they fill up to about 8,000, sure, you're only using half of it, but it's think about the crafting recipe of it, right? So it takes 3 4K ME storage cells to make a 16K. So you're technically only using 2 of the 4K ME storage cells, but you're using half the amount of space in each ME drive. So I would say 16K storage cells is probably going to be your best bet for a lot of resources. Also later on, I haven't actually ever gotten into this, but you can configure these to only take certain items. I've never done it before, so I can't explain that to you, but there are people who have done it online, and there's a lot of guides on this mod to look up. But there you go. I've got Applied Energistics set up. By next episode, you'll probably see me doing all sorts of stuff off camera to get this set up, because obviously I have this 4K storage cell in here right now. I'm going to fill this up with 16Ks because I want to fill my entire load of chests into this thing. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.